Good evening, brothers. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody tonight? The new meta choice is going to be OBSEC Armigers. I mean, I guess we're going to see them. We've been working on a couple of videos to do with knights. They'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. Good evening, Toasty Devil. How you guys? How you doing? So how you guys doing? How are you doing? Singular. I'm going to be looking at my incursors that I was painting a couple of weeks ago tonight. I'm at the point where I need to give their brown, the leather, a second coat, and then maybe a couple of other bits that need a second coat of grey, and then I can start doing some washes on here, I think. A couple of blood drops here and there to paint, and I also wanted to put some silver onto this well, what's this thing called? A twin Volkite culver, and I've got another one here that was... Neither of these are finished. I guess I feel like I should finish them. So maybe we're going to start with that and then get to the incursors. Every table in RTT is bringing the OBSEC Armigers. I mean, I definitely think they're good. I don't think there's any question about that. There's a lot of stratagems that make the Armigers good as well. I did think, or I did say, like, even before the new Knight Codex, that it felt a bit unfair that, like, if you think of like a dreadnought for a marine army, counts as one model, and an Armiger, which is like a lot of points less, counts as 5. So I mean, the 5 in the OBSEC, it's pretty darn good, I think. I mean, people often ask me, like, how do you think you could make marine armor, like tanks and stuff, more viable? Well, maybe having it count as more than one model seems like would seem like a potentially easy fix, right? Good evening, Adrian. Good evening, Dark Ginger. Vulcan High. I like how you do the plasma. Gives it a retro pixie tube look. Thanks, man. Hadn't really decided if that was. I think I was gonna wash the plasma a bit on these ones, but I never quite finished the Volcons. I ran them I basically brush painted them for a GT, I guess, and I basically just slapped 3 colours on them and then never went any further. The orange was a bit of a nightmare. I had to do so many coats of orange to get it to look semi-decent. But yeah, I'm still not convinced on Volcon weapons. I'm just struggling to think of what Marines have that's better than Volcons right now. I don't like Redemptors since they put them up to 195. 195 points for Redemptor with all the guns. I mean, I haven't run them since they put them up to 195, but I guess they got a tiny bit better with Armor of Contempt, but I feel like Redemptors have weaknesses. The Plasma... If the Plasma was like a flat number of shots on the Redemptor, I think I would be much more on board with it. It's the fact that it's swingy that really puts me off it. Because it's so swingy, it feels like you always have to take more than one Redemptor, or when you need the number of Plasma shots at a key turn, you're just gonna roll a 1 and that sucks. I like how they're OBSEC faster Dreadnoughts. You're 100% right, Regoso. They're OBSEC, they're way faster than Dreadnoughts. They're arguably just as survivable because while they don't have -1 damage, they do have 5 up and vulnerable on range, right? So, and they're good. They're great in melee. I mean, I wouldn't run the. Is it the Helverins, the double shooting ones? I'd run the one with the chainsword. I think it's the Warglavy, right? I never painted one of these before, so I need to keep referring back to how I actually painted this other one, because I painted it a while ago. Good evening, Hot Water. Have you played against Wolfen? Space Wolves, yeah, I mean, I've played against Space Wolves like once in 9th edition. I have 2 friends that play Space Wolves, and I have invited them to come on the channel. You would not believe how many times. I don't know if they're scared to play Blood Angels. I think that's probably what it is. But I think in all seriousness, they I don't know, I guess they just never get round to getting back to me with a time to play a game, which is really annoying. Because I would like to have a bit more experience against Space Wolves, but what's the question about Woven? Like, what is the problem in dealing with Space Wolves? Typically when I've seen Space Wolves lists, they usually field like a lot of dreadnoughts, right? Because the dreadnoughts get those shields that I think actually gives the firstborn dreadnoughts like a lot of added viability, giving them the... They're not called storm shields, they're called like frost shields or something, but essentially they're storm shields, right? They give the dreadnoughts like a 4-up invulnerable save, and it makes those firstborn dreadnoughts like way scarier because they can do a lot of heroic interventions, I believe. But like I said, I really haven't played Wolves as much as I would have liked to. 195 points is really steep for the Dread. Yeah, I think Redemptors were pretty steep before at 185, considering they have no Van. I really think that Redemptors went up in cost because Black Templars could run 3 of them and it was really good. And I guess that's the problem with Marines, is like sometimes a subchapter like Black Templars can end up getting like, essentially you can get unit nerfed for everybody with Marines. I think they're probably a bit better for Black Templars, obviously, because they can, you know, they get the built-in 5-up feel no pain, and they against mortals, and they get the built-in 5-up invulnerable save. So like, there's no denying it that Redemptors are better for Black Templars, but the fact that they had to go up 10 points for everybody is really annoying. Blizzard shields, yeah. Thank you, Dan. Volcons are unavailable right now, right? No. I mean, they went up from 5 points in arm to 15 points in arm, right? But they're still totally fieldable as far as I'm aware. Oh, you mean like to buy them? I mean, I guess probably Forge World's taken a lot of stuff off sale. And you have to, I guess, either go to eBay or 3D print them, right? I don't think there's any other way, if that's what your question is. I wouldn't rush out to buy Volcons anyway. I'm just sort of painting them because I had them kind of half painted anyway. And yeah, I'm struggling to figure out what is the best fire support for Blood Angel's army, so I mean, Volcon's something you can kind of fall back on. Is it great? No. I don't think it is great, but it's okay. Oh, these are actually different. These are actually different ones, I think. Because these are both 3D printed. Oh yeah, these are different sizes. Okay. Oops. Oh well, he's got one big arm, one small arm. I suppose I was looking at the other one and I was like, how did I paint this? I guess that means I probably have another Volcon somewhere. Oh well, I'll get it painted at some point. These guys, the arms aren't going to match precisely, but that's fine. Woven coming at 29 points per model, strength 5, toughness 5, can take storm shields and thunder hammers. They also give reroll charge aura. They can fight after dying in melee if they got charged. I mean, yeah, that's rough. I'd say shoot them, but I guess you probably don't have enough firepower to take them out, right? I mean, my army certainly wouldn't have enough firepower to kill them. The two models that I'm aware of, like the Woven that can fight last when they die, or they can fight on death, and the Repentia they can fight on death. I think it's a couple of CP for the Repentia to do it. They're so darn strong. When I've fought Sisters before and he's been running those, I've definitely tried to just prioritize killing them with my shooting. So they get into melee, it's just really bad. And this is... The Falchion is the best fire support. Why do you think the Falchion is the best fire support? You know I have a Falchion, right? Someone was actually telling me that I should... I've got an RTT coming next month, and someone was telling me that I should just run the falchion at the RTT. Just see how it gets on. I mean, it's undefeated in 9th edition, right? Could it go undefeated at a tournament? High Commander... they're also counted as always been in Assault Doctrine. Yeah, I mean, that's probably... And I mean, this is probably one of the reasons why I still think 100% melee Blood Angels list doesn't work, right? And there's other reasons as well, but I mean, like, the Woven sound nasty as all hell. I know that Sisters Repentia are a real problem if they ever get into combat range, in that they'll just fight on death. The other thing that, one of the other reasons that I don't think the full melee army works is for, like, well, if you're into Death Guard, they have a lot of ways we can counter them, and I know we aren't seeing too many Death Guard in the meta at the moment. But Death Guard are, like, they just have tools that will that completely shut us down. Or at least they shut down our melee power totally and utterly, completely shuts us down. Hot Water says, could you tell me some tips for fighting against Evil Suns, if you have any? Remind me what the Evil Suns... what their, like, their... I don't even know what you would call it, but, like... the different chapters of orcs, or the different factions of orcs, all have specials, right? What's so good about the Evil Suns? I usually end up fighting against, like, snake bites, who have like the army-wide transhuman. I actually thought that was kind of the strongest orcs. But yeah, remind me what Evil Suns do. I started learning to play, and I really want to play Blood Angels because I like the look and the lore, and you've been such a help. What army do you... Sorry. Such help learning what the army wants to do and what the best choices are, says Ethan. Thank you so much for your kind words, Ethan. You're very welcome. I mean, it's kind of the whole point of the channel, is to tell people how to do better at Blood Angels, but it's nice to hear. I hope you do pick our chapter. You know, I was taking a serious look at the Vindicator for 145 points with a Siege Shield plus Armor of Contempt. It seems pretty survivable. Yeah, I mean, it is toasty, it just is too unreliable again for tournament play, I think. D6 shots will typically let you down, you know, same as the Redemptor Dreadnought, I guess. When you really need a few shots, you're going to roll a 1, and blowing CP to re-roll the number of shots on a weapon generally feels really bad, especially when, like, yeah, it just feels bad to waste your CP on such a thing, I guess. Evening, Robert, how you doing? Hi, John. Painting up my benched Astrath, who's half finished from back when he was released. You know, that's funny. I mean, sometimes on the channel I grab models that have been sat on a painting tray half finished for, like, decades at this point, so... What year did Astrath actually get released? I feel like it must have been... I feel like he was available in 4th or 5th edition. DTM asks, is anyone hobbying tonight? Yeah, that's a good question, DTM. Who is hobbying? Marcus says, 3 grots on the Black Templars video was great. You can take a 20-man Primaris Crusader squad and give the Sergeant Champion the Feast and Sword of Judgment. That's practically a captain with 41 wounds. I really do like the Relic Bearer rules that the Black Templars got. In some ways, I really hope that, like, the rules set sort of evolves to do more of that, because you kind of see it in the Knights Codex. I don't know if you guys have picked up the Knights Codex. If anyone has questions on the Knights Codex tonight, I'm happy to answer them as well, because I've got it here in front of me, but The Relic Bearer's rule for Black Templars is very cool. Like, I like the additional customization it lets you give to, like, character... Well, it's not characters, is it? It's, extra customization it gives you to, like, squads and stuff by giving them a relic. I think the one thing that, like, I really have been hating as of late is how they've taken away, like, Primaris units in general don't have that many weapon options, they're pretty restricted. It felt like the Relic Bearer idea that the Black Templars got gives a bit of flexibility back there, which I actually really like, so who knows, hopefully that's sort of a trend that's gonna go forward, I guess. Had a game against Sisters today, got tabled round 3. What was he running, Acreal? What killed you? Goth Orcs are the strongest for some amount of time now. I can see why Blood Angels wouldn't like Snake Bites though, it really messes up the +1 to wound. Yeah, Snake Bites are horrific for Blood Angels, we lose so much of our damage. If the whole army's got transhuman, I mean it just completely nullifies our +1 to wound, which... I mean, I rely on the +1 to wound a whole hell of a lot to win games, so without it, it just feels really bad. Snake Bites... But I still don't know what Evil Sons do. Someone's going to have to tell me what Evil Sons, what their chapter tactic is, or the equivalent thing, so I can answer the question on how you beat them. Hi Commander, I just wanted to tell you that the Whirlwind worked fantastically with combo of the Storm. You should really add one to your army, says Marco Spirit. I have considered getting a Storm now. People keep, you know, it almost feels like a running joke at this point, and that people keep telling me, like, you need a Landspeeder Storm, you need a Storm. I mean, maybe I'll get one. I've got a bunch of other models that I'm eyeing in the next couple of months, so maybe after I get them, we'll think about the Storm. The only chapter... See, I remember playing Lamartas back in, like, 3rd edition, maybe? Definitely 4th. Maybe 3rd. My memory back then was a bit hazy, because it's like 20 years ago, right? But I never owned Astrath back then. I believe he was available, but I never owned him. I think double Vindicator Laser Destroyer and a Whirlwind can press a lot and would draw enough aggro to deflect from jump pack units. Yeah, I mean the Laser Destroyer is a cool model, right? That's one of the ones that's high on my to buy list. I don't know how I don't know like how or when I'm going to field him, but it is one that's on my to buy list. Bloody Rose, yeah, I mean the extra attacks from Bloody Rose can be pretty nasty, and again I have quite a bit of experience playing against Andrew's Bloody Rose, and typically I would usually beat them, I feel like, but I do, again, this is why, like, is it possible to beat some of these armies without a balanced army? I don't know. I mean, this is, you know, the guy that won the tournament this week, or he came second with the 30-man squad of Sanguinary Guard, there is certain armies that are just going to counter that. You're going to really struggle. I believe Morgan Val is actually really strong with Bloody Rose, because she can give them... She can give, like, Zephyrim the full hits for... full rerolls for hits and wounds. And obviously Zephyrim can kind of hide, get those full rerolls, and then make, like, really long charges. And their power swords will be -4, so even with Armor of Contempt, you're still not getting like a save against a power sword for most things, right? Evil Sons can move, shoot, then move, yeah, and they can move quite far. I mean, I've got a bit of experience playing fast-moving orcs, and I guess the thing to say is, like, you know that they're going to be so fast, right? And they're going to want to make charges at some point, because it's orcs. Unless it's like Speedwag. So what I'd almost try and do is, like, in turn 2, maybe even turn 1, you might actually want to just back up a little bit. Like, just don't make it easy, because like, if you've got enough shooting to pressure him with your shooting, then you should just maybe try and shoot him for an extra turn. Because orcs do, like, they're a bit like us. Unless it's a speedwag list, I guess they do 90% of their damage in the melee combat phase. So if you can limit what they can charge and when they can charge, and you can control that, you probably have a pretty good game, right? John, can we maybe get a different style list every few weeks in the next battle reports? Maybe run another HQ and try a different playstyle, then every second week practice for your tournaments. I mean, I suppose I could try and iterate or try the other characters. I guess where I'm at, Steve, is I feel like I only get to play one game a week, right? Because kids and stuff. So I feel like, and I still don't know what my list is for this tournament in like 3 or 4 weeks. So it's hard, yeah, like, I could try and experiment a bit more, but I mean, at the same time, I'm trying to practice for a tournament when I don't, like, when I was younger, if I wanted to practice for a tournament, I could just be like, right, all weekend I'm just going to play Warhammer one game after the other, and like, I just can't do that anymore with the responsibilities, which is a bit annoying, but is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I mean, once, I guess, in the past I have done more experimentation on in terms of like even using the super heavy tanks and stuff on the channel. It's just been difficult. I'm just gonna open my window in here 1 second. It's just been difficult when I feel like, I mean, I haven't done well. I've done okay at a couple of tournaments, but I haven't won any, right? Shooting Silent Phoenix, how you doing? Would you review a Grey Knights list? I mean, if you wanted a Grey Knights list reviewed, I think we would probably be able to do that on the Grots channel, for sure, because, I mean, Tony plays Grots. Sorry, Tony plays Grots. Tony is a Grot. Tony plays Grey Knights. I've only played against them. I mean, I don't play them. I don't know if Mark does, but I mean, we could probably review it. I'd probably review it over in the Grots channel with Tony and Mark. I don't think I have enough knowledge to review and critique a Grey Knight list over here anyway. I'll proxy a laser destroyer in my next game against Eldar, and I'll be sure to report my findings. I mean, it would be great if the laser destroyer got the siege shield. It might, giving it a siege shield might just push it into the realms of like too powerful. I don't know. I do want a laser destroyer. So DTM has tested a laser destroyer and actually dropped it. I mean, I guess it's going to be good at anti-armor, right? I guess the question is, if you're running a laser destroyer, do you need to run a tech marine to make it reliable? Because hitting on 3s is not really reliable, right? And then, yeah, I can't. On paper, the laser destroyer looks great. Anything that has like a flat number of damage on their main cannon, which the laser destroyer has, it looks great. But yeah, I mean, I guess against some armies it's going to be useless, right? But then I guess that's typically why in like take all comers lists, you're looking for things that are versatile, I suppose. Our tank should just get a 2+ base now, considering how thick the armor is compared to the power armor. You're probably right, Highland Phoenix, especially something like a repulsor. Like, the repulsor, even with Armor of Contempt, I don't think you can afford to field a repulsor. I still think it's too many points, it's too easy to kill, and also I think it's kind of confused into what it's trying to do, you know, like, is it a shooting platform, is it a transport? The concept for the repulsor is just busted, I guess, right? What's your view on the Vindicator Assassin? Tried him once, he almost killed a full unit of Thousand Suns Rubric Marines. I mean, Assassins are fine. There's usually a way you can make them work in an army list. The problem I have with Assassins, I guess, is like I try and limit myself now to 3 characters. Like I will never go over 3 characters. Doesn't matter if it's like, doesn't matter if like 2 are HQ and 1 is a elite choice or an assassin, right? Like I just don't want to go over 3 characters. I don't want to make it easy for my opponent to pick secondaries against me. And if you go over 3 characters, I think it's pretty easy for your opponent to just go, well, I'll just do assassinate and I'll probably get between 8 and 10 points. And you know, so by doing that, it means that like my view, I guess, is assassins are fine, but like what are you replacing? What are you dropping? Cyberwolf asks, what are we painting? I am painting a Volcon Contemptor arm. But if you are hobbying tonight, let us know in the chat what you're hobbying. You can also let us know what part of the world you're hobbying from, because we get people from all over. There's always a new country in here every week, I swear. Howdy Jeff, how you doing? Toasty says I own a Primaris Tech Marine and I'll just use 1 Vindicator to see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be bad, I think. But it definitely is situational based on what army you're up against, right? I mean, if you compare it to a squad of Eradicators, I suppose it's not really that much different. Has a little less shots, but it's probably more survivable and has those sort of like static damage rolls, which is really nice. I mean, that's the reason that the Vindicator Laser Destroyer looks good, is that you don't have to roll for damage. If you stay still, I think it is, you just... Oh no, it's if you overcharge it, is it? Or... Yeah, I think if you overcharge it but you stay still, you don't potentially take the mortal wounds. That's what the rule is. But yeah, I think the Laser Destroyer is an interesting one. How competitive it is, I don't know, but like sometimes you can pick things that you don't necessarily think are that competitive and you can do just fine with them. So I mean, I said a few weeks ago, like, don't take 30 Sanguinary Guard. I don't actually think it's that competitive. And then just this week, someone goes 5-0 in second place at a tournament with 30 Sanguinary Guard. And I still stand by what I said. I don't think 30 Sanguinary Guard is that competitive. Like, if you run into certain armies, Sanguinary Guard are just, they're neutered. So you can take it, you can obviously do well, but what happens when you run into one of those armies? Atlas always liked the Repulsor until realised it didn't have a 2-up save. Land Raider Redeemer is now my favourite. I don't see many people run Redeemers, honestly, but I do like them. I like the Redeemer and the Crusader the most, I think. The regular Land Raider is a bit... Well, las cannons, in my opinion, are underwhelming, so based on that, it makes the regular Land Speeder really underwhelming. I hope Marines get some sort of buff to their las cannons, because they're a bit crap, really, aren't they? Daniel's painting more Eradicators. He's going to try running 2 squads. Michael says good evening. Jeff's been painting Imperial Knight weapons. Nice. I haven't decided quite what knight I'm interested in getting yet, Jeff, but I did look at the Codex and I do have some thoughts. I'm not going to rush out and buy a knight. I want to see how other people do with it first. But I will have a video coming on knights probably this week. Spamming too heavily into a unit if they're nerfed can suck. Well, I mean, Sanguinary Guard already got nerfed. They're already up at 32 points per model, which again I think is too high. I thought they were okay. I thought they were reasonably balanced when they were 30 points per model. I mean, they're only a 2-wound marine with a 2+ save. It's not like they're super survivable or they've got an extra wound or anything like that, right? If you think like Death Company, who have a 3-up save and a 6-up feel no pain, which is arguably just about as survivable, and I guess Death Company have a stratagem that can make them more survivable as well, which Sanguinary Guard do not have. I think Death Company are like, what, 12 points cheaper? Well, I guess if you throw the jump back on them, 9 points cheaper per model. It's a big difference. It's a really big difference if you're trying to build some big squads. Like a squad of 10 man is instantly like, what, 90 points less, something like that? Orc buggies, cough cough. Did I miss a question or did I miss someone saying something about orcs? The laser destroyer would be good against orc buggies, I guess. Was that what you're saying? Well, I mean, they went from 30 points a model up to 32 points per model, which is kind of a nerf in my opinion. What's my HQ recommendation for a 1,000-point game? Right now, I'd say Mephiston. I've been playing him. I think he could be fun in a 1,000-point game. He's got some great buffs and he's also got a ton of damage. Apart from when I play him, because I roll more ones than anyone else when they play Mephiston in the combat phase. Like, I can legit have like 10 attacks with Mephiston and roll 3 ones on the hits, and then I'll be wounding on 2s and I can legit roll 3 ones on the wounds. My luck with Mephiston blows, but he survives a lot of firepower. In cover right now, he's brilliant, and you can get access to transhuman as well, which is cool. I think he would do well in smaller games. I hate this orange paint, by the way. You have to do multiple coats of it every time. I really hate it. Good evening, sellers. How you doing? Currently have Vanguard veterans, Furioso, 8 assault intercessors. My HQ is the Blade Guard lieutenant that came with Indomitus. I mean, the Blade Guard lieutenant that came with Indomitus is okay, but he's slow. But I guess on a 500-point game, it's not that big a deal that he's slow. But yeah, I would try Mephiston. He's a cool character. Excuse me. He's a cool character to have anyway. If you don't have one, you should get Mephiston. He's a fun model to paint. And I guess he's our only named character that has gone Primaris, so he's the other named characters, I guess, have the risk of them becoming Primaris at some point and you having to rebuy the character. I guess with Mephiston you wouldn't have to do that because he already is Primaris, right? Excuse me. I was just saying if someone wants to spam a unit and get it nerfed. Oh, okay, I'm with you, DTM, yeah. The Orc Buggies got nerfed because every Orc player ever decided to just spam. Well, I mean, I went up against that list where it was like 9 Rucka trucks, 8 scrap jets, and then maybe like 10 Orc commandos. That was the whole list. Oh, I guess there was like a captain, but he was also on a buggy or something. Yeah, that didn't last long. That was nerfed within like a month, maybe. Like that was the shortest time ever. Like people literally just got their orc buggies painted and they got nerfed. Baskaluku, good evening. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I found playing those orc buggies lists really challenging though. Like it was a bit broken, but like I did keep beating it. But it was completely obnoxious how much indirect firepower they had. The changes to indirect firepower lately have made me so happy, because I guess it was kind of like a no skill list. Right, you didn't need any skill to play that list. You just turned up and you would just shot everything off the table with indirect fire. I just want to pop in and say nice work on the recent 5-0 Sanguinary Guard list review. I'll be running 2 7-man squads and a 6-man squad with Infernal Pistols tomorrow in a game against Knights. Cool, man. Good luck, and thank you for your... I do really appreciate you guys that watch all the videos that I put out. I'm always, I'm always trying to make good content. I'm always trying to grow the channel, so when you guys watch all the content I put out, is really very much appreciated. I actually don't know if I should have painted these little energy bars here orange, but I feel like I put so much orange on this thing as well that I'm just going to do a different colour. I hope that if Sanguinary Guard get nerfed, it would be something lore appropriate rather than a points increase, like maybe only one single unit of them, for example. Yeah, I mean, I don't think... Surely they can't put their points up again. They're already so expensive. You compare them to like Grey Knights, Inceptor squads, or is it Inceptor squads, Interceptor squads? Like, the difference in points is ridiculous, considering that Interceptors are like just as good almost. I don't know what they would. Yeah, I mean, surely they can't just put their points up again. I mean, maybe I'm just hopeful that they don't put the points up again, but I really think they can. They're already way too expensive. Daniel had Mephiston do 27 wounds in a single turn for Mephiston. Yeah, I mean, this is... I never roll like that with Mephiston, Daniel, but like, I keep including him in my list. I do see potential with him. Like, maybe one of these days I'll roll 27 wounds in a combat. I'll smite and then combat for 22 wounds. I mean, I did have that game where, like, he was definitely my MVP, because I feel like it was one of the games against Tau, he was the MVP, I think. He, like, was heroically intervening, and he, like, killed a Storm Surge, and then he went on and killed, like, a 10-man Fire Warrior squad in a single turn or something. So, like, I feel like Mephiston has play around him. Yes, it sucks he doesn't have +1 to cast, but I do think that you can make good use of Mephiston. If you've got some CP spare and you're prepared to use them on him, I think he's got legs. What if they upped Sanguinary Guard's points but buffed their stats? I mean, the only stat they could really buff, I think, would be to give them the 3rd wound. So I can't see them giving them like a better invuln than 5 up, because they've got no storm shields. So they're not gonna give them a better save than a 5 up. And at that point, with Armor of Contempt, I don't think a 5 up's really going to be all that important, because to get to 5 up, they need to hit us with -4 AP anyway. So, I don't know. I feel like, but like I play against Tau, I played against Tau the last couple of weeks now, and when I come up against Tau, he just deletes the entire squad of Sanguinary Guard without... Like, it's not even close. It's just like, any time you can see the Sanguinary Guard, considering how expensive they have zero chance. It's not like there's any stratagems that let them survive, you know, there's no transhuman or anything like that for Sanguinary Guard. But I wouldn't give for some sort of stratagem that gives them a bit more survivability, you know, but they just don't have it. Um, 260 points for a 10-man Grey Knight Interceptor squad is cheaper, and they have the possibility to get nearly the same amount of attacks like the Sanguinary Guard. The Interceptor squads get some cool benefits as well from the... I forget what the Grey Knight's abilities are, but they can basically like improve their armor save, and they can use their tides to really buff them as well. Yeah, I mean, considering they're 60 points less than the Sanguinary Guard, they don't really do... I feel like it's not really equivalent how much damage less they do, or however you want to phrase that. Join the club. We've been waiting for 3 years for Primaris Sanguinary Guard at this point, right? I don't know how many more years we're going to have to wait. Good evening, Andy. Thanks for tuning in. Mike Arino. Yeah. I think it really depends, right? Because in Scepter, like, Grey Knights get that thing where you can use the tide so that they're in like light and dense cover regardless. And then you can buff their armor save, and then you can buff their armor save against 1 damage, and you know, for 260 points, I think it's generally very... I think they're generally very good. But Grey Knights have fallen a little bit out of the meta, right? You don't see quite as many of them. I'm not... like... I guess in Nemesis Dreadknights, they got hit a bit with Armor of Contempt change, because basically their guns that were good lost some AP. I'm unsure. But I do think that Sanguinary Guard are... A hill that I will die on was that they were fine at 30 points per model. I guess I'll just continue to die on that hill by myself. Most of our problems could be solved if Firstborn can use Transhuman like Grey Knights can. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that just today. I was like, what if we got like a crapper version of Transhuman for the Firstborn? You know, like if they really want to keep Transhuman for Primaris only, could we get a version that's like a mini Transhuman, you know, like the Black Templars one, where it's like, well, because a lot of times it feels like when I'm playing, you know, there's a lot of Strength 8 stuff out there. So quite often, like, it's just like, oh, we're just going to wound Marines on 2s. And it doesn't feel good when your Marines are just getting wounded on 2s and you get nothing to... You get no stratagem, you get nothing that can help them. What colour did you use for the coils there? Fire Dragon Blight. I'm not sure I love this paint. It seems like it needs a bunch of coats for a solid coverage. So, I mean, maybe the colour is good, Living Ghost, but the coverage definitely doesn't seem good. So, it actually probably even seems worse than the... because I use Averland Sunset for my helmets on the incursors, or I guess on anything that's like got a yellow helmet. Yeah, I never go Successor on Blood Angels because I really do think there's value in the +1 to wound and the +1 to charge and advance rolls. I feel like I always get value out of them in every game, which makes me shy away from Successor chapters. I think I'm going to be playing World Eaters on Monday night this week, so I can't remember last time I played World Eaters. I guess they're getting new rules in the White Dwarf, but I don't think that's out yet. So it should be an interesting game anyway. I wonder how Khorne Berserkers are going to get affected by new rules, because Berserkers, the reason, like, when they fight 3 times in a round in our combat phase, it's disgusting how much damage they can do. I feel like Berserkers, like, they're a bit like those Repentia that we were talking about earlier. Like, they just have to die. They cannot get you in combat. If you're in combat with Berserkers, it's just the worst. Berserkers will be super OP. I mean, maybe. So I've been seeing that Eldar are winning tournament after tournament after tournament at the moment. Andrew's away at the Birmingham GT and he said that he got crushed like 100 to 27 in his first game against an Eldar list. Apparently swooping hawks are obnoxious to deal with. You know, you might be better off going for just the sort of plasma colour on this, on the Volcon. I suppose it really depends if you want them to stand out against plasma weaponry. I mean, some people do plasmas in blue, some people do plasmas in green. I kind of just went for orange because I felt like it was Volcon and there's something completely different to both variants of plasma. But yeah, I must admit I'm not in love with this orange paint. The amount of coats it's been needing has been ridiculous. We won't be getting real Berserkers until the World Eaters Codex. Yeah, I mean, I guess the White Dwarf Codex will give some things to tide you guys over. I guess it'll, but like I guess it won't include any new models or anything like that. And a new model refresh line or whatever you want to call that will be coming with will probably be coming with the Codex, right? So maybe you'll get Primaris Berserkers. And based on the current Codex creep that Games Workshop have, then they'll get to attack 4 times in a turn. Eldar are doing super well. The Wind Riders, I believe they're called, have the same stat line as Intercessors, but shoot better and have insane movement. And I believe the Swooping Hawks have like an obnoxious like move, shoot, move, or move, shoot, redeploy, I believe it is, so that you can literally redeploy them back into cover. almost like move, shoot, and then deep strike somewhere else on the board sort of rule. I'm surprised that we haven't actually seen more armies with just 3 squads of swooping hawks, because that seems totally what brand is the orange? It's the GW orange. It's Fire Dragon Blight, but I don't like how many coats you need to use over it. It's ridiculous. I mean, I guess there isn't a like for like Grey Knights versus Blood Angels, I guess. But, I mean, I guess my point was mainly that I felt like Sanguinary Guard compared to some of the Grey Knight. If you just look at like the basic profiles of what these units can do, it feels like Sanguinary Guard are pretty darn expensive. That's because layer paint is not a base paint. Well, I don't know, I just picked up an orange off the shelf in Games Workshop, because that's what... So what is layer paint then? You're supposed to just layer it up over white, or what? I've honestly the only time I've really paid attention to, like, if it's a base or if it's something different is usually like if it's a wash or if it's like an edge paint. Campbell says, what's the best way to handle Dark Angels? I mean, you have to... When you go to charge them, you have to make sure that you commit to destroying the unit. I mean, if they're running Terminators, they're slow, so you're going to use your speed against their slowness. If they're running like Ravenwing, then it's a little bit more tricky. But I do think that, like... I do think Dark Angels are totally beatable. I just think that you have to know your strengths and know what their weakness is, and when you inevitably have to charge like a 10-man squad of Deathwing Terminators, you need to be pretty confident that you're going to do a ton of damage to them, like, because if you're not confident and you don't kill very many of them, because that can happen because they all have like transhuman and 4-up armor saves, right? You'll lose a lot in the return. So it's like you almost don't want to engage them. Like, you just want to stay... I mean, they're Terminators, they move 5 inches. Most of our stuff moves 12 inches, so... You just want to... And they're probably going to have the Terminators either, like, hold an objective or head to the center of the board, so just try your best to play around them. That's my... I only have a few games in 9th against Dark Angels, but I don't think I've been beaten by them. And... if you're not familiar with learning how to use like the strength of Blood Angels to your advantage, then get familiar, because that's what will win games, right? Good evening, fellas. Dirty Wizard had been working a lot these last few weekends. It's hard to balance work. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be hard, man. Especially as more responsibilities come in, but thanks for stopping by, Dirty Wizard, I do appreciate it. Hopefully you can get back into your hobby groove. That's why I try and set time for myself every week to work on hobby, and it's the same time, you know? It's basically like when the kids and wife go to bed on Saturday night, that's the one of the few times a week where I have like 2 or 3 hours of uninterrupted. So I'm just like, right, that's hobby time. By contrast, I have a couple of paints of contrast. I've never really gone for it, I guess. I guess the main reason I've never really gone for it, I suppose, is because I want the stuff that I'm painting now to match what I already did pre-contrast. If I start a new army, maybe I'll try contrast, but for now, contrast is kind of just not something I'm super interested in. The layer paints are a bit thinner, but designed to be applied over a base to highlight it. Okay, so I'm using this layer paint wrong then, I guess. That's the issue. I just thought it was a shit. You know, like, yeah, I literally just thought it was shit paint. Unfortunately, I don't have the Grey Knight's Codex, so I can't get involved in this armor debate that you guys have about strike squads or interceptor squads. I'm gonna have to do a wash over the orange though. I'm not entirely sure what wash I'm gonna do over it yet either. I guess I'm just gonna I'm just gonna build up the orange as well. I'm just gonna do layer after layer after layer of paint until the orange looks solid. I mean, I'm already like 3 or 4 coats deep, right? So it shouldn't take too many more coats of paint before it looks solid, I guess. Good to see you working on something different. Atlas says orange is a shit paint. I mean, I guess just this one is probably the wrong paint, I guess. I should have, I'll know for the future, I guess, like layer paint is something that I should avoid because I don't really use... Well, when I'm edge highlighting, I just use like a base paint. I don't really use a specific paint for that. Alright, I'm going to put those Volcons down for a little while, and if someone wants to make me a suggestion on what wash I should put over those coils. Flesh Shade. Regular Flesh Shade might work on there. Would Carabur Crimson be better? Or would a purple be better yet? I think I've got Drakenhof or something. Good evening, Tezab. Atlas would use Agrax. Agrax might make the coils look quite grimy. I'd rather them look bright, I guess. Drukhari Violet. You know, that is one of the few washes that I don't own, John. Does it work well over orange, though? Karberg is pretty strong. Drakenhof will be far too dark blue. Drukhari Violet over gold works nice. Do a bright orange dry brush over it and it might look cool. Don't know if I have a brighter orange paint than that Fire Dragon one. Flesh Shader Drukhari Violet. So no one likes the Karberg Crimson idea. Because Karberg Crimson is just more purpley red than Flesh Shade, right? I have Urel Yellow? I don't think I do actually. I think Crimson would blend too much with the other red in your army. Okay. I probably will do a dry brush afterwards or something. Maybe even do like a very, very light white dry brush on the edge of the coils. I think that might work as well, right? Oh, I'm gonna have to give all the Mournfang brown on these guys a second coat next. It's kind of criminal that I've been using these incursors for like a year at this point and they just don't have any shading or anything on them, bar the very basics, so thought I would give them a little bit of love next. I might have like an orc yellow, like a much brighter yellow than Everland. Do you know what, it's probably unopened because I've never needed to use it. But I feel like I might have a much brighter yellow. Ethan's just building a... Oh no, Egram is building a kill rig. Can't wait to paint this thing. Is the kill rig the big giant? No, the kill rig's the one with the like cavalry, like I guess like oars or something pulling it around, right? It's like really long, isn't it? Steven says, believe it or not, I completely finished painting every Blood Angels model I owned last week. 5,200 points. First time ever completed an army. It took 14 months. Well, congrats on painting everything. Because that in itself is an achievement.
Steve West donated $5 via Super Chat. I need Black Rage points. Stupid Tau.
Thanks, Steve. I do appreciate the $5 very much. You know it. I know today Andrew lost a game at a tournament using that tile list that he beat me with. So Andrew has maybe like he built that list to be really good at killing Marines, but it's struggling against other things, which it probably may suffer in some ways against other things. That's why I never recommend you build lists to fight a single army. I mean, even if your friend plays like one army, and yeah, I just don't recommend making a list to fight a single army. It will inevitably come back and bite you. Yeah, it's the Orc wagon with the worry boy and the transport pulled by a huge squig. It's great. I only fought a kill rig like one time, and it was at a GT, and I didn't really know too much about it. It just basically ran at me, and I was like, oh my god, this giant orc thing, I don't really know what it does, I have to kill it. If I remember correctly, he put it too close to the Sanguinary Guard in that game, and I heroically intervened on it and killed it. Or I did a ton of damage to it and then killed it the following turn. How many Land Raiders in the army, Stephen? Do I know what you played against? Yes, you got beat by Eldar. It was like 100 versus 27, like he got crushed. I don't know anything about like what was in the Eldar army. I'm sure you'll tell us. But from what I'm hearing right now, Eldar are in a really strong position. Which is funny because every time I bring, every time I try and get someone to bring Eldar on stream, like I don't have any problems fighting them. I guess Kev isn't. Maybe Kev needs a wake-up call and to run something a bit more competitive as Eldar. I don't think Land Raiders are good right now in any form. I guess someone in chat earlier said that they were running a Redeemer. I think the Redeemer's okay, I think the Crusader's okay, but I still don't think I would field them in competitive play. In any form. Even with Armor of Contempt, I don't... There are too many points. It's too many eggs in one basket. Used the Crusader today in a 5,000 point game. Alright, sure, yeah, in a giant, like, Apocalypse style game, sure you could run a Land Raider. In a regular size 2,000 point game, I think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you try and run a Land Raider, honestly. Which is sad, because I own a bunch of Land Raiders. I think I have 3. Why doing cursors and infiltrators only have one pauldron, does it bug anyone else? I mean, I guess that's just the Phobos armor look, I guess. They're supposed to be more agile, I guess, because they forward deploy. I mean, I think you're probably right. Like, how does one less shoulder pad make them more agile? But I mean, I guess that's just their look. Doesn't really bug me per se. But I suppose if you want everything to match, it could bug some people. Praise the Land Raider. Man, we need a stratagem like Black Templars have where they can charge out of the Land Raider after it's moved. I mean, that's super cool. I actually love that strat. I only used it once in my one game as Black Templars, but it's just a cool strat to have access to, I guess. Eldar have the Strands of Fate dice mechanic. Yep, you are right. So they get Strands of Fate, and they definitely have some other good shenanigans at the moment. The move, shoot, redeploy seems very, very strong. Like if I was an Eldar player, I might just run 3 squads of Swooping Hawks just to do that. Art of War says something about if the Eldar player is good enough, the opponent will never get to shoot the Eldar because of the shoot move tricks. I think you're probably pretty accurate, Daniel. So yeah, that probably counters Tau really, really effectively. Oh, I got it back in one sec. Swooping Hawks can redeploy after shooting. One unit can battle focus 6 inches after shooting. Another unit can shoot move with a strat. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, I guess, right? I think the Swooping Hawks to me seem like the most obnoxious. Like, I actually don't know the profiles of the Swooping Hawks, but if I had a unit that could move, shoot, redeploy anywhere on the map, I would just run 3 of them. Like, the mobility that gives seems insane. Like, you can just put pressure on anywhere and then fall back to anywhere every single turn. I don't... But, I mean, I have heard as well that Tyranids are completely busted as well at the moment, so maybe Eldar aren't really that big of a problem. I saw a tournament last weekend, it was like, out of the top 7, 5 were Tyranids. It just seems like bad deja vu at this point. Every single release, every single codex comes out with something that is broken. And like, either Games Workshop aren't testing the stuff enough, or they don't care, or what. I don't know. what the fuck redeploy after shooting? Yeah, it's like basically after they shoot, it's basically like the deep strike rules, right? So they can just redeploy anywhere on the board as long as they're 9 inches away from your models. Yeah, I mean, that is a whole other can of worms. The new codexes. I mean, when I was looking at this new knight codex, right, there is a way for like a knight to do like, I think it's 56 mortal wounds in a single turn. So, I mean, regardless if it's a low chance of it happening, I do think that like they should at least be aware of some of these things, and like should any stratagem ever be able to do more than 10 mortal wounds, or any ability be able to do 10 mortal wounds? Probably not. I mean, that was the thing with the AdMech flyers, right? When AdMech were winning every game because they could take all the flyers and they could fly over units, and they could every single turn they could do, what was it, like, I think they could do about 10 mortal wounds every single turn, the AdMech flyers. And you were just in a situation where it was like, you just lose games because you could take 230 point flyers, and between them, so like for 260 points, they could kick out like 20 mortal wounds per turn. And like, AdMech were just, well, I think it was like the London GT, the AdMech player went first, and he basically tabled the opponent in the final game in turn 1. Like, after his turn 1, the opponent just GG'd and just, like, you fought, what was it, like 8 games or something to get to the final table for this final match, and in turn 1 it's game over. You didn't, not even turn 1 actually, battle round 1. So the AdMech player had his turn, or his battle round, and then the game was over. Like, I think it was a Deathwatch player that he was up against. Deathwatch player didn't even get to go. He just knew he'd lost too much in turn 1 to even, there's no point in him even playing, right? But what I've been hearing is like, Tyranids at the moment, they're tabling tons of people in turn 1 as well. I think they need to do an edition where they release all the codexes at the same time, and they're all written by the same person, or the same small team of people that do the codex releases, I guess. Is there any armies that I've not played much against? There's loads. There's absolutely loads. I mean, if you work out how many factions there are in 40k at the moment, there's like 20 factions, right? And like I said, I literally only play 1 game a week. So I've played a bunch against Sisters, but it was a while ago now. And I played a bunch against Tau and Orcs. And I've played a few against Eldar and Death Guard. I've played a couple against Dark Angels, Ultramarines, World Eaters, Knights, Dukari. I've basically not played any games against Imperial Guard. Maybe I played them once at a GT. I did beat them, but it was fucking super close. So Imperial Guard, Chaos Knights, I've played them like once, maybe twice, and it was a skew list, so I don't even know if that counts really. Harlequins, played them once in all of 9th edition. Grey Knights, played them once. I've never played Blood Angels. That's the thing, I guess. I guess I'm the Blood Angels player in my meta, so I haven't played against Blood Angels. Haven't played White Scars. Haven't played Black Templars, but I've played as Black Templars. So yeah, there's probably 5 armies there that like I've just literally never played. And there's definitely going to be more. I mean, I played Iron Hands a lot last edition. Played them a couple of times at the start of 9th, but not played them in like a year at this point. Tyranids, I've not. Do you know what? I haven't played Tyranids in ages. I don't even think I played Tyranids once in 8th. So like, I have literally no experience against Tyranids in like 2 or 3 years. I haven't played Tyranids. I'm sure I'll run into them in a tournament and have literally no idea what they'll do, and they're going to be super powerful as well, so it's going to be a bad time. Space Wolves, I played once in 8th. I wanted to get it. I know 2 people that play Space Wolves, but I can never get them on the damn channel, I guess. It's not through lack of trying, I swear to you. I actually started making fun of them because it had been so long since I played them, and I kind of tried to say to them like, "Oh, you're chicken," to try and like get them to come on and play me, but apparently it's not working. You don't want to play the new NIDs until the point's nerf. So yeah. And I guess in the near future we'll have squats as well as another faction to worry about. I don't think any of my friends are picking up squats, not that I know of anyway yet. I mean, maybe someone will pick them up. A game against Grey Knights in October. I mean, maybe we can do it. I suppose it just depends on when and where. Raven Guard, which Mark always plays. I've never played them. Don't think I've played them in. I just don't think I've ever played them. I mean, I guess that's the problem they're having with balance. Is there's so many factions now. It's gonna, and as they add more, it's just gonna Gene Stealer cults. I've seen them played. Andrew played them on his channel. But I haven't played them. Andrew played them at a tournament a couple of times. Colin played them as well at a tournament and spanked them. Slaanesh Demons, there you go. I played Slaanesh Demons once, like 3 years ago, and I got rocked by them because literally the entire army fights first. This was before they changed the fight first rule. So, or before they changed all the fight phase stuff. So it might not be as obnoxious as it was now, but yeah, I've not played them in forever. I played Thousand Suns like twice this edition. I did beat them once and lose once. Fun fact, the captain of Team Scotland, so that's like the Scottish 40k team, like the best players in all of Scotland. The captain of Team Scotland played like 50 tournament games this season, and he only lost 2. and one of them was against me, so I felt pretty chuffed about that, to be honest. He won the Manchester GT, actually. I think he actually underestimated the Blood Angels. I think he thought, like, you know, when everybody was saying, like, Blood Angels are hot trash, like, I think he honestly thought that the game was going to be a walkover. And sometimes when you, if you think you've won the game too early, that can be its own biggest enemy, you know? Like, you can never think you've won a game until that final turn has been played or whatnot. So I don't know, I think he maybe underestimated me. I was running sort of like that janky Tech Marine double Redemptor list with Blood Angels that maybe you don't expect to do all that much, but is actually really good. Or it was really solid. What army is he running? At that point, he was running Thousand Suns, because it was shortly after the Thousand Suns Codex, I think. Now, when he won the Manchester GT, he was running Tyranids. I believe Tyranids is his main army. I guess the Blood Angels Codex was one of the weakest ones to be released. Nothing felt very strong, busted in particular. It took a 3d6 charge and nerfed some other stuff too. Love Gift of Foresight. Yeah, I'm so sad that we lost our 3d6 charge. You know, that was like... the amount of close games that I've had in 9th that I would have probably won if we still had access to that strat. And also, Wings of Fire got hurt so badly, you know, like... considering you know, we were just talking about Eldar being able to redeploy units every turn after shooting, and we had one that you could redeploy, but it costs CP, and you know, you could only use it once, and they took that away, which I don't know, kind of sucky, I guess. So he's a meta chaser. No, I think he's been playing Tornadoes for the longest time. What's my least favourite matchup? At the moment, it's fucking Tau, honestly, Boy Next Door. Oh, I suppose I should have said I played Necrons a few times, so... yeah, I mean, I guess, like, half the armies I've played 4 or 5 times, a quarter of the armies I've played, like, once or twice, and then, like, a quarter I've just never played at the moment. When you literally only play one game a week, it's pretty difficult to, you know, like if I went round every army and played every army in a cycle, I'd probably only get 2 games against an army every year. I mean, most of you guys in chat, like how many games on average do you guys play a week? Fucking shield drones are bullshit. Blinders will be doing much better than some of the other chapters since the Armour of Contempt upgrade. Just be happy you don't play Imperial Fist. Yeah, I mean, Fists are in a rough place, right? Blood Angels have been doing better, that is fair to say. Armour of Contempt definitely feels like a band-aid fix. One a month, not one a week. I'm trying to get 2 in, but Uni makes it fierce. Shield drones suck so bad. Yeah, I mean, shield drones are very good against us, I guess. Oh well, I thought I was going to be on the low end there when I said I only play once a week. I really thought most of you guys would be playing more than once a week, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. You know, you just got to make time when you can make time, right? Life, family, that sort of thing can tend to come first. Usually 2 or 3 games in a couple of weeks with no games. Yeah, I mean, sometimes what I used to do, and I haven't done it so much since we've had the 2 kids, but I used to, if we had like bank holiday days at work, used to try and like arrange to get 2 or 3 games in on a single day. Like I said, I haven't done it in a little while. We did do it more often. Sometimes as well, when there's like a tournament coming up, I might try and do some extra games to get some more practice. But honestly, like having 2 kids is so much more difficult than having 1 kid. I didn't realize this. I mean, I probably should have realized it, right? So yeah, just finding the time to get 1 game a week at the moment is pretty tough. DTM plays 2 a week. Alright, so some people do get a couple of games a week. I thought you guys were all gonna say like, John, you need to play more. Okay, I don't feel so bad about that now. Adam says, hi John, just stopping by to say congrats on 10k subs. Glad to see you got there. Now let's hope GW sit up and pay attention. I'm not 100% sure if I want to sign any sort of GW NDA, Adam. I've had people, like random people that I've never heard of before, commenting on the channel saying please don't. I mean, they must have been subscribers for a while, but not every subscriber, I guess, typically writes messages or engages in live chat or whatever, right? I've had people that have been subscribed for a while, I'm sure, that are like, congrats on 10k, but please do not sign the GW NDA, just keep doing what you're doing. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. Any games lined up for the next few weeks? Yeah, playing World Eaters on Monday night. We usually try and play a game every Monday, so World Eaters this Monday coming. And I might have a game against Miles, the Eldar player that beat Andrew. Sort of penciled it in. I don't have a concrete date on it yet, but yeah, World Eaters on Monday, and then we'll figure out what's happening the week after. I mean, I just play the 1 game a week on Monday nights, Nico, if that's what you're asking. I really can't commit to anything more than that. I spend Tuesday evenings, actually, and Wednesday evenings every week, I work on the videos that are released on Fridays. So even if I wanted to play more games, at the moment it's not really feasible unless I would like ditch my weekly tactics video, but the weekly, I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon. And then on Thursday nights I film the Grops podcast, or I come on here and do some painting. So yeah, I mean, 1 game a week for me is all that I can manage. Occasionally I can get a weekend to do games, like go to a tournament or something like that, but since we've had the 2nd kid I've not done anything like that. And also, since we've had the 2nd kid, I guess we got to worry about kids getting COVID again, so. Thanks for watching, Steve. I do appreciate it. Don't work too hard, man. I've seen a lot of your painting jar miniatures. It looks really good on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't really take pictures of my models for Twitter or anything like that. I'm definitely more, I'm more into the theory, I guess, than the painting. I do like having my models looking good, but yeah, getting the theory and winning the games is what I'm all about. God, I wish I could go back to college. So much time. Do you know what? Sometimes I think that, Manuel, and then other times I think they'll like courseworks, exams, man. Good night, Adam. Thanks for tuning in. I hate exams. I'll be glad if I never have to do another exam in my life. As someone who just finished college, it has its ups and downs. I mean, I enjoyed it when I was there. I did it for 5 years. Black leather or brown leather? I paint all my leather brown and then wash it with Nuln Oil. So it's like distressed leather. So it's both then, Rizio. It's brown leather, but it's washed to make it look black. Some people don't paint the leather belts and stuff on Marines a different colour, like some people just leave them red, which is totally valid. But I've always painted my leather. I mean, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, like having a leather belt, like in the distant far future, there's still cows and stuff just chilling so we can get leather belts. But yeah, I've always painted my belts leather. And yeah, I think it does give them a good contrast. Daniel says, I wish I could go back when I had all the time in the world, but then I remember I couldn't afford the hobby. I mean, yeah, that was something as well, right? I didn't do Warhammer when I was a student, that's for sure. I did a bit of Magic the Gathering when I was a student, but didn't really buy that many new packs, just played with what I had, if that makes sense. They have Space Cows, aka Grots. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair to say, James, that the belts on Firstborn do look like they were more part of the armour. I've always painted them, though, I guess. I mean, you know, I guess everybody in in the hobby has their own way of doing things, so you know, I always say it's like, it's up to you. You know, people ask me like, how do I do this or how should I do that, and I always try and say like, well, that's the best thing about the hobby, is you just do whatever you want to do, right? I wish the Incursor Sergeant could take a special weapon, you know that? Like a power sword or something. I get some serious cleanup to do on this guy. Are you put out any painting videos yet on your channel, Ezio? Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing though, right? Nobody will judge you if you have an unpainted belt or an unpainted like gun pouch, but we all worry about it, right? We're all like, shit, we need to make sure that gun pouch looks like it's painted, or, you know, in my case, you're like, you're gonna paint the belts and then we're gonna wash the belts as well so that the leather looks distressed, but like, you know, no one's gonna care, but we care. It's like, I just always think that's kind of funny that like, we worry that our friends may care, but in fact, it's just ourselves that care. This brush has like 1 or 2 bristles that are just, I'm just going to pull them out. Irish Terminator Sergeant's got Mastercrafted Power Sword. They really need to change that in Space Marine 2.0. I mean, you can mastercraft the power sword for CP if you need it, right? Do I feel Space Marine Sergeants really need a mastercrafted power sword? I think what I'd rather is what Nico said. I'd rather have like a stratagem that gives a way of giving Terminators like transhuman or something. Like, I think that would be way more valuable than like an extra 1 damage on their sword or something. I don't think we'll see Terminators getting upgraded to toughness 5. I mean, that sounds nice, but I don't think we'll see it. I mean, aggressors, I guess, are your tough... Unless we're going to see some sort of Primaris Terminator aggressor shenanigans. I mean, there is rumors of new... I have heard rumors of Primaris Terminators. I just don't know how much legitimacy there is on the rumors, I guess. But that's definitely a rumor that's been floating around. But I mean, if you're given a choice between teleporting in Terminators or Toughness 5 Gravis walking across the board super slow, I think I pick the Terminators every time. John, throw out all your old brushes, or at least when you buy a new one, eventually you'll be forced to use new ones. I suppose, I mean, I do have a shitload of bad brushes. Like an absolute shitload of them. I tend to not worry about the brush is until I'm getting like further into the model, I guess. Like, so these incursors, you know, like I'm still doing base coats on them, like 2 thin coats of the base colors, and then I go into detailing, and then I go into washing. So this early in the process, like, I just use shit brushes, I guess. Like, if I make a mistake this early on, I'll just fix it. I'd like to see Terminators get even more crazy ability, basically armor and dominance ability with a tweak once per game, a 4-up shrug activated by the player in the same sets. I mean, that sounds cool. I don't know if we'll see it, Rizio, but I'd love to see Terminators get something that can boost their survivability too as well, though. For one, though, I'm happy to see Terminators back, because, like, people considering them as a decent choice. But, like, I do hate how much Strength 8 there seems to be floating around, where it's just, like, they can just get wounded on 2s, and there's... I mean, I guess that's why people think Transhuman and Blade Guard Veterans are really good, but, I mean, like, is anyone in chat still running Blade Guard Veterans since Armor of Contempt came out? Does anyone still feel Blade Guard Veterans are core to their list, that they loved them? I mean, I know I've got 7 Blade Guard Veterans, and 5 of them were fully painted, just so I could do that, like, 5-man squad. And at one point I was thinking of running, like, a second squad of them, but they just kept underperforming for me, honestly, it felt like. Jamie says nope. Anyone else Blade Guard Veterans? Yes, no? Ed likes them, but he's got no space for them in his list. Yeah, that's how I feel about them. Like, I didn't dislike them, Ed. I used to always say to people that technically they have better leadership and more like they get more attacks than a squad of Sanguinary Guard, the equivalent number of guys. They get more wounds, they get more leadership. So on paper, they're not a bad unit. Toasty says no, he's using the Terminators. Nico says 6, but they're very hard to get up the field. I keep a unit in one of the Executioners I got, but that's about it. I'm surprised you... Not many people run Executioners. Not many at all, I would say. Three are good for holding the backfield at 105 points, said Ed. Yeah, that's one way to... I think that's the best way to use Blade Guard at the moment. But I'm just curious to see if anyone was still using them. It seems like most people have moved on from them. I thought more people would still be liking them. Tough Nail says Blade Guard was MVP in a game he played today. If I ran Black Templars, I'd still use them. If you ran Black Templars, would you still take the oath that gives you the transhuman and the 5-up save, or would you take a different oath these days? Like, do we still think that the survivability oath, I forget what it's called, that oath. But do we still think that's the best oath? Right, I'm gonna figure out what colour to paint the handles for these cursors, because I seem to have just subconsciously ignored all the handles for their weapons. But it's getting up to 10 minutes to midnight, so I'm probably going to leave in like 5 more minutes tonight, because got a lot going on tomorrow and I have to be up super early. So I will be back tomorrow night though to do the Army List show, and that will be at like 9:30 UK time. And then we'll be back live on Monday to do the battle report as well, so content coming on Sunday and Monday. I really like the helmets of Blade Guard veterans, to be honest. Thought of getting some Grey Knight helmets for my other vets to be Terminators or Vanguard veterans. You know what, I forget the helmets on the Blade Guard veterans. Are they're like the knightly helmets, right? I never bought the standalone. What are they called? Standalone Blade Guard veterans. I just got the sets out of Indomitus. It's kind of hard to remember exactly what the helmets were, because it was like Indomitus must have released at this point like 2 summers ago, I think. Was it 2 summers ago? Jeez. I feel like it was. It wasn't last summer, was it? Was it last summer? Nah, it wasn't last summer. It was 2 summers ago, surely. I was going to say, if I haven't painted all my Indomitus models by now, I'm in trouble. Jamie dropped this whirlwind. I mean, I guess you can drop the whirlwind. I think it's good. I don't know if I think it's super core. I just like it because I think that it makes the backfield an easy decision for me. Like some games I just don't need to leave anything back there but the whirlwind. You see the new... Are the new helmets actually resin or are they plastic? Like, are those Horus Heresy releases, are they resin or are they plastic? So I assumed that if the dreadnought in that was going to be plastic, then any weapon sprues or stuff, I assumed that they would be plastic too, right? Did they say that it was resin? The new helmets are plastic, as well as the guns. So is there any new resin? Why? How expensive is the helmet pack? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Whirlwind is about as good as it can get without being an auto-include. Yeah, I guess what Regiel says is right. It's good. Is it an auto-include? Probably not. $24 per 10 heads. I mean, a few years ago I bought like the 10 Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads from Forge World. I'm trying to remember how much they were. $24 for 10 heads does seem kind of excessive. But then I guess like the whole world's foobar at the moment with inflation climbing through the roof, the war in Ukraine, £50. Yeah, I'm going to hit the hay in a minute. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in tonight. But yeah, we're pretty much just wrapping. I don't really want to be the YouTuber that just makes negative videos on the prices of stuff. I'm sure there's plenty other people doing that. I don't love some of the new pricing, I'll tell you that for nothing, but like I guess I'm not gonna be the guy that's just gonna sit and make videos on complain about the price of stuff. I think I've got better content I could make than that, I guess. But yeah, that does seem excessive. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be hard for GW to keep the prices where they are with the whole world going foobar, right? It's always been expensive. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty true. It has never been the cheapest hobby, has it? Just make negative content about the rules instead. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I was gonna say that's like you didn't miss a beat there, that's for sure. Did you see a guy that got a drone inside GW's corporate area? I did not see that. Way to get yourself blacklisted for anything GW related in the future, though, huh? Surely that wasn't a good idea. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. I did get the second coat on most of the brown, so that's something. We did get a bit of work done on the Volkites. I guess when I'm not painting Terminators, I can make some good progress of an evening. Thank you so much for not making clickbait titles and videos. Your great content sells itself. Thanks, Stephen. I mean, sometimes I do make the odd title that tries to get the click, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do make a video that's designed to get clicks. I mean, I'm sure everybody does it, but yeah, the pricing is the pricing. Nothing we say or do will change the pricing, I would imagine. So there's no point complaining about it, right? I'll be back tomorrow night to talk about army shows. Army shows? I'll be back tomorrow night for the army list show to talk about army lists, and then I'll see you guys on Monday night. Yeah, clickbait is literally how the algorithm works. One of the best videos I made on the channel was the video that I made, I guess, in a quiet week, where I made that video on the worst Primaris unit ever. We actually still need to have the final of that. I think it was Reavers versus the Fire Strike Servo Turret. Maybe need to check out and put up the final poll. But like, that was just a video in a quiet week. And I guess maybe it was a bit clickbaity, but it definitely got views. It got heaps of views. So that's YouTube for you. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I hope Reavers should win. Yeah, Reavers probably will win. They are the worst Primaris unit, I think. Maybe we'll set up the poll this week. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully catch some of you guys tomorrow to talk about army lists, and then I'll see you guys on Monday night for the live show, and then probably what's coming out on Friday this week is a video about knights, including a knight in your Blood Angels army list. So that'll be coming up on Friday. Alright, I'm out. Enjoy your evening. Peace.